Alright, welcome back. This is the Bald Bearded Bicyclist, and this is week 4 of the Fireball series on Grand Island. If you haven't seen them before, you can check out some of my other videos. This is a crit style course, and this is the A group. So it is whoever joins 1, 2, 3, and some Cat 4s, including myself. And today it starts off a little bit slower. The past couple of weeks we've usually had somebody bring up the pace right away. So let's get things underway. It was a beautiful day, and I think at this point I was tied for third in the series. We're only 3 weeks in. Drew, who's in front of me on the orange bike, he was in second, I believe. And then we've got James Thompson from Chicluna in first. And we got Jim doing a little attack off the front here. And kind of blocking things. We had Moose on the front. And people are just kind of checking it out. They're letting him go solo and just seeing what'll happen. So knowing, we got Jim off the front, I'm not worried about anything, so I'm just kind of trying to block and see who might want to go with that move. Jumping ahead a little bit, and I think everything may have been back together. So we got Steve went off. Rich was luckily on him, so I shut it down as soon as I saw that Rich was with him. I was just kind of on James's wheel there. Now I'm forgetting whether we had brought things back with Jim or if they were trying to bridge to him at this point. Now I looked back and I saw Tom was behind me. Larry went over, and I was like, well, if there's no one directly behind me that I'm going to drag up, then I tried to go to Larry, and then I looked back and I saw that James was behind me, so I kind of shut it down. And then as they came back, came over me, I brought it back up. Just trying to be cautious not to do work for him to bring him up, but with no one in between me to start there, I figured, well, I might as well try to help Larry. So yeah, so I see a couple of red jerseys up there, so they were bridging to Jim, and you can see, so Jim, Rich, Steve have a little bit of a gap, and then the rest of us have kind of brought things together here. And this is still first lap here. Usually we do 9 laps, and you'll see in a bit why mine says 1 of 7 here. It seems like maybe brought things... no, they're still off the front there, and Drew goes to get across, and James pretty much brings it back up, and we bring it all together because don't want to let Drew get in that breakaway with multiple other project teammates. So this was a really, really big group this week, and you could just see it was really active. It was probably the largest, it was definitely the largest A group we've had so far in the 4 weeks. A lot of project team members. We had a good amount of Chicluna guys, probably pretty close to even numbers, and then there was 2 of the Minuteman Empire guys, so Sam and Alessandro, both super strong juniors. So I saw Alessandro go here, and I figured, why not? I'll bridge up to him, maybe we'll work together. So I try to keep the speed on and go over him, and he doesn't really quite get on my wheel for a bit, and then everyone brings back together. Then he attacks over me, and I let Tom cover that one. And looks like Alessandro doesn't really want to actually get away like that, so he kind of shuts it down a little bit. Moose goes. I don't want Moose up there. So I bring up the speed, and you can see Sam behind me. And as I latch on here, he actually attacks over. A really good move. So just with the two of them, they actually played tactics really well. And you can see there's even a gap behind, a small gap, behind Tyler and the rest of the group. And with Sam off the front, he's got pretty good space between these two groups here. And we're all just kind of sitting up. I know Sam's super strong. I'm kind of surprised looking around that nobody wanted to go with that. And maybe I should have. A little surprised Alessandro picks up the pace here with Sam. This would have been a good opportunity for me to maybe try to get across here if I had jumped from the left after that little bit of a surge. You know, I think I would have maybe caught Moose by surprise, and most of the Scicluna guys were behind that. But Moose actually brings it up, and he's going to be the one to bring Sam back here. So we got speed. I kind of trapped myself on the left side here. Oh, I guess we slide around here. So we do keep things moving. But just moving forward a bit. And we got Drew with a nice strong attack through a gap there. And I think that's Alessandro follows him. I pick it up to follow Alessandro and maybe dissuade him from going. I got James on my wheel, which is not ideal. I'm not really trying to pull through here, but I wanted to see if I could just dissuade the break. And now we bring this up, and this is maybe not the best move by me, but I was thinking I would wanted to help Drew if no one would come with me. So I was carrying speed, and I got by them, and I just didn't want James to come with me. I looked back, it was just Tyler. And at first I was thinking this was a good thing, but we caught Drew really quick, and he didn't bring up the pace to extend this gap. And I wanted to keep our speed up. I just kind of went by him, but James was a little too close. And I think at the end of the day, that was maybe not the best move, but I apologize to Drew. You never know. Sometimes you know, if they don't come with you, and then you can get a couple of people, and it could have been good with Drew and I, but in hindsight, they weren't going to let that go. So we got, I think, James attacked there, and Alessandro and Larry followed. But it kind of just keeps getting shut down. At this point, I think there might be a couple people. It might be Drew and Sam might have already gotten off the front at this point. And from where I was in the pack, I cut it out because you couldn't even see where they got away. But at this point, I think they are actually, they might be on the front now. Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think Drew and Sam are away at this point. And you've got James and Larry just kind of in the middle there. And I figure I will get up to them to further dissuade James from trying to just pull across. I thought maybe he would be willing to do that with just Larry on his wheel. But as soon as I make it up here, he shuts it down. He doesn't want to further impair the odds, you know, project to Scicluna, I think. But he's pretty much determined to try to get away, but he doesn't want to bring anybody with him. So he's doing these like surges and then shutting it down really quick when finds out no one's with him. So because there's no Scicluna guys up there, I think Todd Backus is caught in the middle there, so you can see him up there. I'm not sure why Tom shot to the front like that. I think it kind of spurred James to put in another attack. This one hurt. I saw Steve. He was carrying a lot of speed. I didn't react quite quick enough, and yeah, this one hurt me. So I'm already at 174 beats per minute. So yeah, we're gonna pass Todd here, and I'm trying desperately to get back on Steve's wheel. And at this point right here, I'm like, okay, I'm at least getting some draft now. I know that I'm not gonna pull through. We have a teammate up there. I just didn't want Steve to bridge, so me being on his wheel, he's now has less enticement to get up there, because yes, then they're representing the break, but he's also gonna bring another teammate. So he flicks me, and I just have to tell him, sorry, not gonna happen. I always feel bad doing that. Ideally, I'd like to be in the break too, but not at the cost of having Steve up there, because he's a strong sprinter, and yeah, I wouldn't want to have him in the break. So we get brought back, you know, and I want to slide over a bit to make sure I can help over here. In hindsight, maybe I should have just gone to the back, you know, after that long effort trying to get on Steve's wheel. I think I was feeling pretty good, but I should take the opportunities to get to the back and rest up a little bit more. And I think lately I've been chasing everything a little bit more than I should, so I'm gonna work on that. Just picking what moves I actually follow. So I'm seeing this little gap. I'm seeing a lot of red jerseys. I figured I would just let them go, but people start filling in, and at that point it's the majority of the group, so I just slot in. And we are on lap 5. So attack from Steve on the left there. I didn't want to follow. That was pretty, you know, yellow line. From the back, you can see if a car is coming or not. From where I was sitting, I wasn't going to chance that. But I think Rich got on that, and now I'm finally actually taking advantage of the draft a little bit. But we are going, actually not too slow, but 23. We're not going to be catching anybody at this pace. I know Larry is like locked in on James's wheel. Every time he goes, he's on there. So, you know, that should have been something I just trusted, and we'll see a little bit later that maybe that's going to be a problem for me, the fact that I didn't. But you know, everybody likes to hit it out of this corner, and I just use my speed to get up closer to the front to make sure, because now James is actually oh no, that's Tom in front of him, so Larry's probably still right behind him. I think we got Chris on the front. So what I was surprised is a little bit that Scicluna wasn't working together as a team to bring the break back. It did feel like it was very much these attack over attack, and then just kind of like shut down. But they had numbers, you know, if they really wanted to bring that back. And I guess it's tough with the format of the Fireball, because at the end of the day, we have teams and we kind of race as teams, but the scoring is individual. I don't think there is a team podium, I should say, for the Fireball series. It's the results are individual, unlike the Sunday series, which has individual results, then as well as a team win. So, you know, I guess it's hard to maybe get everybody on your team to work together that way. I think we just, on Project, we just like to do that. I don't really care who on our team wins. I just want somebody on our team to do well. So, you know, we've got these little attacks. We keep going with them. Again, if I'm with Larry and James, I think he's going to be less likely to try to bring them back. And you could see at this point, we're actually pretty close to Drew and Sam. They're going over basically the finish line at this point. And I'm not sure why Tom did this, because he kind of launched the other guys there. You know, again, we are already represented in the break, so it's maybe not ideal situation for that. But luckily, James didn't go. I think it might have been Chris and Tom. And Alessandro, you know, he's got a teammate up there too. So every once in a while, he was kind of getting on the front and trying to disrupt things too early on. That was really smart. And he set up Sam really well for that breakaway. So again, just having the two of them, they did a fantastic job to set each other up. And Alessandro did, you know, exactly what he had to get Sam in that break. So you can see there's kind of gaps. There's, I think it's Tom and Chris, and then you got Brian up there, and he was kind of slowly getting off the front. And so I just told Jim, I said, I'll keep an eye on Brian. So as I move up here to get on his wheel, James attacks hard. And the pace comes up. So I'm just trying to slot back, get back in the draft. But that I can already see up there that the attack was shut down. So Eric actually had gotten off the front. That was what spurred that original attack. So that was us bringing him back. And now we're going slow again. Again, like you see those guys right up there. And I think this was tough with the car up, and then everybody squeezed brakes, and I definitely had to to alter my line and brake a little there. Lost a lot of speed. But, you know, there was an opportunity for Scicluna to catch that breakaway, I think, if they were willing to work together a little bit at that point. I know that there were times when they got on the front and they pulled instead of doing the attacks. But it wasn't quite organized enough to bring them back. Like right now would be the ideal scenario, because this is probably the closest we got to them. And somebody's obviously on the front pulling. I'm not sure who. Try to see through this turn how far away. So there's 3 people up. Oh, you know, that might not even be Drew and Sam at this point. It's hard to tell this far back with the GoPro being so wide. It's you just see red jersey and some other jerseys, but yeah, so that must not have been them. They weren't that close. That must have just been another group that got a little gap. Looks like Alessandro's trying to close that gap here. And this group is back together. So we got Todd W on the front, and he's keeping the pace up a little bit. But again, not a ton of organization. So this is my last lap, and if you're local, you probably know what happens here. But again, the attacks start, and things just get fast for a second, and then they stop. And maybe this is what causes some issues. It's this bunching up and massive accordion effect of the group that's just like slingshot and then back, and just causes all sorts of problems. So I'm trying to stay on Steve's wheel here. We do get a bit of a gap. In hindsight, maybe I could have gotten away from Steve, attack him once he was really tired here. But I wouldn't want to bring him up, and there's no way I could have foreseen what was gonna happen soon. So I wanted to be in the pack and just making sure the brake didn't get away. There's James going again, and Todd kind of fills in here. So you can see how when somebody attacks, I slowly shift over and try to get on the line. I guess this isn't technically this isn't really the last lap. For some reason it didn't change, so either it started incorrectly or it finished incorrectly. So we do actually, there's one more lap here. But if you're on the front and somebody is attacking over, you don't want to just jump over to them. I slowly drift over and try to attach to the back, and you'll see I do that later, but something unfortunate happens. A lot of foreshadowing in this video. I apologize. And some of you probably already skipped to the end here to see what happened, but things are fast now, and I think you can see, I think that looks like Brian on the front, so they are starting to organize and do more pulls rather than the attacks. But it looked like nobody really wanted to pull through after Brian went off, and looks like James attacked again after that pull. So it just kind of defeated the effort that Brian was putting in there. So I see things surging. I'm trying to find a lane here. Luckily one opens. I'm able to kind of slot in here behind Alessandro and Tyler. And again, like, if we didn't have somebody off the front, like, these are good opportunities to attack. Like right now, I'm moving right now. I use that to just make sure that Moose doesn't get away, because I saw him going on the left. And then, James and Larry picked it up as well. So I ease off a little bit and just get back onto the back of them. But there was a chance that if James didn't go there, that Moose would have been able to get a gap over him, because James could have let his wheel go. And if I hadn't attacked on the right side, then it would have been really tough for one of us to get up to Moose. But I was able to see that, and then James filled it in anyways. But Moose is putting in a nice hard pull to try to bring things back here. And again, I think they just, you know, if Scicluna wanted to bring it back, they would have needed more. The whole team should have gotten near the front and been ready to rotate off and kind of take up those poles, like when Moose pulls off here. But it always seemed like when the front person pulled off, then you're going to have James almost attack, and there's just no real organization. Or he'd slow down, and that's what's happening here. So again, it's, you know, this late in the race, with the speed being this slow in the pack, it can get dangerous, and that is unfortunately what causes accidents. Rich goes to the front. He tells me to drop back, so I'm starting to drop back, and then they're just, you watch. So James goes to the left, Larry's behind, he's trying to follow but couldn't get on his wheel, so he's coming up my right side. There's just not a gap. I'm starting to slide over to get on the train that Moose was pushing forward on the right, and Larry just shoots a gap that's not quite there, catches me under my armpit, and just jerks my bars, and I go down hard. So that's my race. And accidents happen. It is what it is. You know, there probably was a gap there until I started moving over. I didn't veer very quickly, but that gap is going to close. And I think at the end of the day, the person who is behind has the responsibility to slow down. He was carrying a lot more speed than me. If we were going the same speed, I don't think it would have even been an issue, because we would have just bumped and I could have bumped off. But because he was carrying so much more speed, the force that hit me, I just kind of, everything went this way and then I leaned. So it is what it is. Luckily, nothing broken. I've just got some road rash that's still healing up, and some bruises and stuff, so the bike's fine. Scicluna really helped me fix that up with a new rear derailleur. So unfortunate part of the sport, and you know, hopefully people can learn some lessons. You know, I could have looked over my shoulder more and just let him go. I should have trusted that he was going to get back on James. You know, I just saw him come from the left and there was no one behind him. So, you know, I wanted to get up to speed. But again, it is what it is. Thanks for tuning in. I did not participate in week 5, but we do have a video from week 5. So make sure you're subscribed, tune in for that one. And then I will be back racing in week 6. Hopefully. So we'll have some other races for you as well, and catch you on the next one. All right. Thanks.